And today's custom build is packed into one of my favorite budget PC case brands, Gamdias. In particular, this model is called the Talos E3. As I'll be selling this PC, I haven't yet removed the protective film, so if you see stuff like this, it's just the air getting into the film. So the tempered glass panel is pretty dark. Let's take it off and take a look at the inside. It's looking pretty good. Underneath the most common CPU cooler in all of my budget builds, which is the Thermalright Assassin Spirit 120 V2, is a Ryzen 7 3700X CPU with 8 cores and 16 threads. We have the white version of the Zotac Gaming Amp RTX 3060 graphics card. It's a pretty nice looking card. I actually used a 3060 Ti that looked just like this only a few years ago in my own personal PC. And there's a nice LED to accent the logo. So in particular, it's the Zotac Gaming Amp White Edition with Freeze Tech and Ice Storm 2.0. I forgot to mention there's 12 gigabytes of GDDR6 memory. So I guess some clarification on the branding. Ice Storm 2.0 means advanced GPU cooling. There are some really good temps on this card, as you'll see later on. And the fans don't run when the GPU is under a certain temperature. And Firestorm means GPU tune and monitor with intelligence. That's a really vague sentence, but I suppose it sounds smart. And there's 16 gigabytes of Corsair Vengeance 3600 MHz RAM, and it's all built onto an AsRock B550M-HDV motherboard. Windows 11 Pro is installed on a Timetec 512GB NVMe solid-state drive with PCIe 3x4 speeds. If you haven't heard of this brand, worry not. I've used it many times and actually had zero issues. To accompany that drive, I have a Seagate Momentus 2.5-inch 500GB hard drive for extra storage. And underneath the grill of the power supply shroud, there is a Corsair RM750 750-watt modular power supply. So on the top I/O of the PC case, we have 2x USB 2.0, 1x USB 3.0, microphone and headphone jacks. This button right here controls the color scheme of the case fans and the power button. Also an FYI, there are ARGB headers on these fans that can connect and daisy chain to a motherboard if you have the right connections. Onto the rear I/O of the motherboard, we have 2x USB 2.0, 4x USB 3.2. Some display ports that you can't use with the 3700X because there's no integrated graphics, mouse and keyboard PS2 port, RJ45 Ethernet port, and your usual range of audio jacks. And the 3060 has 1x HDMI 2.1 and 3x DisplayPort 1.4a. Now I'm still a big fan of the 3700X CPU, find that it has really good performance in 2024. First off, let's check out some results that I tested out in DaVinci Resolve, rendering some raw 1080p footage, in particular 11 minutes worth. And next up, let's see how this CPU handles some video encoding with Handbrake. I'm pretty surprised this time around. Those are some pretty short rendering and encoding times. Of course, the results will vary depending on what kind of video you're editing and what type of encoding you're doing. So just remember that my results are subjective. So if you're using this similar setup in 2024, let me know in the comments below, and I'd like to hear how it's going. I'm personally really impressed with the thermal performance and the overall performance of this setup. So let's check out the gaming results. Thanks a lot for watching my video, and definitely hit me up in the comments if you're looking at purchasing something like this. Otherwise, have a great day.